Welcome to Aha Math and Science. Today I like just to give a kind of a quick update about the market. Since a lot is kind of going on and a lot of news and and tomorrow there's a sort of like a big decision at the FOMC meeting. The Federal Reserve is going to announce the decision regarding whether they're going to pause it here or not. Well. In the last video, I talked about how we can actually look at the dollar index and the fact that the dollar index and the SP 500 kind of in divergence that maybe give us some clues about the direction of the market. So here's just kind of a quick recap. As you can see that both the SP 500 and the dollar index kind of in an uptrend. And this was kind of since the middle of April when the dollar index kind of made a new low. Now you can see the dollar index is kind of making high lows. And we also noted that the MACD histogram signal is kind of started turning positive. And when that happened in the previous cases, you can see that when it turns positive, from negative turn to positive, you can see this is correspond to a local monthly top. And same thing had here. This is correspond to very close to the top of a market. And it's kind of the dollar index is in the uptrend. SP 500 is in a downward trend. So this is we noted last video. Now, just yesterday, something interesting happened because you can see that clearly the dollar index is making kind of a high lows. So it's kind of trending upward. But we also noted that and the MACD histogram is become much clearer that the black bar is become more and more positive, stronger. So that is usually kind of indicated the dollar index is going to be in a uptrend right at here. And you can also notice that here is just a weak uptrend, but here is a very strong sort of uptrend when the histogram is becoming positive. And you can see that just on May the 1st, the dollar index closed at 102.15. Now that seems like it's not like a big number here, but what we noticed is that since it made a new low in middle of April, the previous high was on April 17th. That is close at 102.10. So you can clearly see that not only making high lows, but it's also making higher highs. So that is something that really kind of interesting, and we think the strength in the dollar has just kind of started. So it's going to be lasting a while, and that's not going to be look good for the stock market because since the past year, pretty much the dollar index and the SP 500 kind of basically one is kind of going up, the other one will go down. They're kind of pretty much in opposite trends. So if the dollar index will go strong, then the broad market is going to become weaker. So this is something to keep in mind. And the next one we actually take a look is, again, the really kind of a very strong divergence between the QQQ and the IWM. The QQQ is the ETF for the Nasdaq 100. The IWM is the ETF for the Nasdaq 2000, the small caps. So you can see that QQQ was in a very clear uptrend, and then the IWM has not really kind of break this downward trend. It's much weaker. In fact, as you can see, after sort of the drop on Tuesday, IWM is very close to the previous low in March of 2023, while the QQQ is way further above the March low. So strong divergence. And usually this kind of divergence get resolved. Either both index is going to make new highs or both index kind of make a new lows. And you can see like at the beginning of this bear market, which started in January of 2022, initially the QQQ is very strong. And while the IWM is already making new lows. And eventually this huge divergence get resolved by both indices actually made a new lows. And we think that the QQQ has not really kind of escaped this downward trend. And you can see it in the next slides, but here we just kind of comment that eventually this divergence will be resolved, and the likelihood is that both index will make new lows. And so this is going to be basically like the QQQ will at least test at the low that it made in December of 2022. And then The other interesting thing we pointed out last time is when we do a trend analysis on the QQQ, plotting in the on the log scale, and then do the regression analysis, and then we can see that pretty much it's in a downward trend. And also this index, this ETF is kind of within this +2 standard deviation and a -2 standard deviation. So this is the middle line, the trend line. This is the +2 standard deviation and the -2 standard deviation. It's pretty much within this band. And when it gets outside, usually on the negative side, it just bounce back quickly. On the positive side, we noted just over the weekend, a few days ago, that it just kind of pop up above the 2 sigma. But then we said it's not going to stay too long. And as you can see, that it's already kind of started approaching the +2 sigma trend line. And so, it's very likely that once it's kind of inside this zone, it's going to move downward, because usually this kind of downward trend does not like just kind of finish in a day. Once it's inside the zone, again, it's going to move downward. And it could at least touch the middle line, which is this red line. And it's very possible even to test the -2 sigma trend line. So these are all the things that we are keeping an eye on. And the message looks like that we shouldn't be really kind of too, optimistic about the broad market, whether the Federal Reserve, it's going to pause here or not. It's just a technical thing that tells us that more volatility will be ahead. So need to be really kind of alert. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and find the information presented here interesting, and your support really kind of means a lot to this channel, and give me the motivation to continue make videos like this one. So please do not forget to click the like button and to show your support. And certainly we did appreciate if you also click the subscribe button. And so thank you very much for watching.